2, 3. Vancouver is here. Nice. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Okay. So, welcome everybody. Let me see what we got here. Sweet. Okay. Well, welcome Valerie. So you already did what I love it when people do, and they sign in. So thank you. And if you want to share, like, where you're chiming in from, that's always good. I stream through a service that's now pretty popular called Restream, and so I actually don't see who comes in and leaves and whatever. So when people say what's up, even if it's just for a second, it's cool. There are 3 stream opportunities. Let's see if I can. Nope, that's not what we want. Okay, so there are 3 stream opportunities. I'm here on Facebook. I'm on 2 places on Facebook. I'm on my personal and then the HoopPath page. And then there's HoopPathBax on Twitch, free. And then there's also YouTube. And then just a reminder, I know some of you know this, but I get asked this every other day, if not every day. All the replays are on YouTube. I usually go back and kind of put a new title page on it or whatever, but generally they're all on there, and it just takes a minute for them to process. Some of you, I know because of one message, have been checking too fast, and they're not up immediately. I think the Facebook ones are, but one thing I want to keep in mind about the Facebook vids, I know I'm all business, but let me just get this out of the way. They mute everything. Everything gets copywritten. And so if you want to watch it live without getting muted, and if you want, this kind of happened in the Flow for Black Lives thing. And so the YouTube and Twitch are really the best. The reason I stream on Facebook is, to get a lot of, just put, people putting eyes on it, just for the exposure of it. But the better streams are on YouTube and Twitch. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you click the bell, you'll get a notification every time I go live if you want that, right? Or if you just subscribe, you'll see it in the feed a little bit more often. So tonight, as always, well, not as always, but this playlist is sweet. This playlist is already assembled and is on SoundCloud. I play, to ease up on my CPU, I play my music through the phone plugged into my mixer. So if you see me on my phone, it's not me, because I have something better to do than to live stream with you guys. So I wanted to talk, first I'll be super honest with you. When I thought of this class today, I wanted to talk about plateaus, and I am still going to talk about plateaus. But in preparation for this class, one of the techniques that I wanted us to work on was when you just play with a super simple new move. And so I always hoop a session before you guys, usually the same session. And I was practicing this new move I was going to show you. Not that it's new, but I figured, me just telling you come up with something new might be hard. So I was going to give you something. And I went so deep into playing with that move, that the whole class and playlist kind of built around that move. So I'm going to do my best to kind of broaden it back up. But, I'm a hooper too. And so I think you'll still see how this plays into plateaus. So the reason that I wanted to talk about plateaus is because as a movement teacher, I really believe that this is one of the sort of top extinguishers of hoop passion, is this feeling of plateauing in movement. And there's all kinds of like positive connotations to plateauing and things like that. But it's, thank you, Joanna. Shit. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of positive connotations to plateauing, I suppose. But what it usually means in the flow world is that somebody feels stale and they feel like they have only gotten as good as they are, or sometimes they feel like they're doing the same move over and over again. And then very often people think that they're on the plateau because their pace has slowed down. Their pace of learning has slowed down. And so this has honestly been something that like I have never really struggled with too much myself, but I used to be a professional teacher, so I would go around, and so I had a lot of motivation to, well, stay motivated. And I could see, because I had this teaching thing going on too, I could kind of see, places that I was improving in both. Of course, not steadily, but, and so I didn't really sit at one place. I think also, though, that a long time ago, I got passed a book, and I think that I got this from that book, and this is probably some flowering of me reading it from that book, I'm not even sure which book it is, but I think it's called The Warrior Athlete, and I think it came out in like the late 70s, 80s, and I think it was written by a gymnast coach or whatever. And in The Warrior Athlete, or maybe it was another book, I've read so many about mastery in one phase of my life. But here's the idea. You are at a party and you see an adult hoop on the ground. And you go over and you pick it up, and maybe you've had some enhancements or something to make it even extra fun, but you pick it up and you start enjoying it. And you're like, holy shit, this is really fun, and you really like it. And maybe there's another hooper there or flow artist there doing the flow, and you're like, oh, that's really cool, and you're kind of co-discovering and stuff like that. At that moment, you have very little awareness of hooping, of what hooping looks like, of what your body can do, trying to learn how to hoop. You just have like very little awareness inside of your body. And then as you start to get more and more into hooping, right, you become more aware of things you can do. Like maybe the same night or maybe later, you're like, oh, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I can do this, and I can do that. And your awareness is moving pretty much just in lockstep with your body. Like, like I'm aware I can lift it. I'm aware I can do this. Then some fateful moment will happen where you see someone doing something that you've been working on or something that you've been trying to do, or if you've been an island hooper, you come off of the island and go into Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and suddenly you are blown away by how much there is that you can do with a hoop. In that moment, your awareness goes, like it just begins to soar, right? And yet your body is still right here, bound by all these laws of gravity. And so what happens is that you can imagine, like, I'm going to try to do this with a pen, and hopefully you can see it. But actually, yeah, here we go. Maybe this will work. So what happens, and I know this is a long setup, but what happens is that in the beginning, your physical growth and the growth of your awareness were pretty close together. I don't know if you can see. Here we go. They were pretty close together. But then what happened is, either through practice or exposure, your awareness shot way up here, right? And then your body, which was keeping up great for a while, started to slow its growth. It's still going up, but it's not going up as fast as your awareness, okay? So what happens to people is it's like when they take off on a flight, they lose perspective. And they can no longer see the progress that their body is making because their awareness is getting further and further away from their body's limitations. And so it produces this psychological effect on people that they're not progressing, when in fact they probably are. And they're probably doing really well, and it's usually because they've geeked out or they've set them, they're achievers and they've set themselves a goal. So their awareness is like already at the goal. It's made the goal, it's at the party. Their awareness is just rocking it out, and their body has to keep up. And this can be like a humbling lesson, but one that brings a lot of like comfort in that humility, which is you just have to let your body catch up. You have to let the moment catch up. You have to go to bed and wake up on it. You have to try it again and again, and you have to allow it to catch up. Now, yeah, okay, all right. I think that's enough to get you going on that. So what happens, guys, is that like you want to move as much as you can while you can, with whatever injuries you have, and so finding like ways to not beat yourself up for doing that, really good, right? Like you don't need the self-lecturing. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's not like, everybody's got to get a participation trophy, but it's good to be humble to realize like, okay, there's no like thing I can just magically do and be this badass shoulder hooper. I'm going to have to do it, and one day it's going to show up. And the funny thing is your awareness will always be ahead of your body. Every time I see myself doing something 19 years later, I still wish my body could catch up to my awareness is a badass hooper. All right. I hope I'm making sense to you guys. We're going to start off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try some new stuff, but then also we're going to move into sway, and I'll try to weave in some of these ideas that I have about getting off the plateau when you're on there, and different approaches, things that may have led to that plateau thinking, okay? All right, here we go. All right. All right, yeah, okay. All right, here's our first sway song. All right, so if you haven't done this before, sway is free-form movement. I usually do it blindfolded, so I'm going to do that now. You can move any way you'd like. You can roll. You can stretch, whatever. It's just a moment to get inside. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. Imagine that you and your body are moving. You and your body are moving. And there's this third thing there. It's not a part of your body, although it moves through it easily. And it's not a part of your mind, although it opens your mind. And that's called your awareness. Your awareness. One of the ways that you can get off that lonely plateau is to move your focus away from the movement of your body and be with the awareness of your body. As it moves, you pick a place to be aware. Audible breath in. And that awareness floats. For this opening sway, your awareness is floating. It may float from your right hand, and for no reason at all, it floats down into the right foot. Maybe it shoots up through the left side. Audible breath in. Just awareness. I could say left hand, and for every person that speaks English, their awareness moves to their left hand.
Watch you speak, watch you move, and
I can say right
I see
hand,
somebody.
and everyone that understands that language, their awareness, perhaps for a moment, move to their right hand. As I mentioned before, awareness surges ahead of the body's growth, but it can circle back and come back into the body and become a patient guide for it.
Baby, you are my luck. No matter what happens, whenever I look up at the stars, I know you're gonna be looking up at the same one.
Awareness, audible breath in. Audible breath in. My awareness floating throughout my body. Your awareness floating throughout your body. Bouncing, hopping, dividing into two. The awareness can circle back and help the body. We can help it catch up to it. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. Oh, sweet. Hey, Bonnie. Sweet. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. I'm going to let the playlist play because we're going to move into, this is one of my lessons for getting off the plateau. And it goes to helping the body catch up to your awareness. And sometimes there's some techniques that we can try without the hoop that will help us prepare the body for when we want to put the hoop on. And for a lot of us, balance is one of those things. And so what I want you to do with me for this exercise is a slow two-tree balance. Do you see how I have my weight on one leg? I'm shifting my weight. If that's ahead of where you are because of injury or something like that, then of course, I think sometimes we feel stuck because we just haven't considered what's binding us. And if it's the same old ways, if it's muscle memory, then we can try something new. Slow two-tree balance. Awareness moving from one side of my body maybe to the other side, or maybe it stays at home. with you. Audible breath in. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, sweet, guys. Hopefully you're still with me. We're going to move into our hoops. And this is the funny part because, yeah, I am craving a cigarette. Oh my God, y'all. I have struggled so hard with that crap. But it's now been 3.5 months for me since I've smoked a cigarette. You guys used to make me so nervous that I would just like die for a cig. And but it's been 3 months, thank God. I think I got it out of my system. Anyway, sorry to bring it down. All right, so this is that funny part where I was going to mention that I was going to say that sometimes when you're stuck on this sort of movement plateau that you're feeling, you know, you can, sometimes it's good to just get off of that plateau. There's an example that I use of this. This is a woven basket. I used to teach with this on the road all the time. It's like this mountain is the ascension point, right? This is the best hooper you'll ever be, and you're starting at the bottom here of this place here, and you have multiple ideas. You can bound straight up the sides, like you get really into folding and you bound straight up the sides, right? But chances are, if it's a steep mountain, if there's lots to learn, you're going to be unprepared for this higher elevation, right? And so one idea you could do is to take a walk, when you can't go up anymore, to take a walk around spiraling up, right? And so you can switch off to another technique sometimes. And then oops, sorry, I'm coming out of focus here. All right, so this with trying a new technique is essentially like, okay, I'm plateaued out on that pursuit, so now I'm gonna try this thing, but I'm gonna come back to that pursuit. I'm just gonna spiral up the other way on the mountain. So this is what I wanna show you guys. This was the new move I wanted to, since this is beginner, I feel like probably people haven't played with this a lot in beginners, but I'm gonna push my hands here, and then I'm gonna fold my hands out like this. Okay, I promise there'll be less talking after this. Just some of this has a setup. So this is the move here, and I'm folding it like that, right? And then I can bring it around me, and then it's kind of hanging on my wrist back here. And so this movement, this would also be another sort of variation of the same. All right, so I'm here, this movement. And then what I encourage to help get you off the plateau is that once you find a new move, I'm showing you that one, but you could do any new movement that you wanted to, is to play with it and let your awareness float away. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what I'm talking about here. So this is the movement that I just showed you. But rather than wondering where my hoop's going to go, I'm going to get all Darsha about it, and I'm just going to feel wind on my hands. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do. I can take a super simple movement like this. I can place my awareness maybe on the palms of my hands, and then just keep it there and let that guide the movement. something new, especially if it's something that you feel has come through you without interference with something else. It helps you connect your awareness back to your body because you're not aware of what the move can do. You're not sure what this can do. Flow class tonight, so you definitely don't need to be doing this move. I'm just offering it as a way to move differently and help free your awareness up from that plateau. Feel the same old move starting to weave its way back in, you can just put it on pause. And instead, just do new things, even if they look weird. Yep, all these classes are on YouTube. They're all saved on YouTube. Okay, so. All right, so we take our new movement, right? And, whatever we're doing here with this movement. And then now what we want to do is just add a little bit more recklessness to it. And then let the exploration push out of that. If you're sort of following me, one way to get off the plateau is to just venture into a new curiosity. And you sometimes stumble into these curiosities, these things that feel good. And so I'm here, and I'm doing my movement as I was doing it before. And I can just take steps forward or take steps back. Or I can change pace. I could keep one hand high, start gripping it and hugging the hoop. Just hold me, come to the steps, to the stars, babe. Just hold me. This is the move if you want to stay with it. Here, fold out, I come to here. There you go, good. My awareness is floating. My awareness is floating and moving around. Reckless exploration. If you're not sure what to do, try it on one leg. There you go. Good. Good. If your hoop isn't falling or slipping, it's not reckless enough. Reckless exploration. Like for me, if you're wondering for me, obviously I've done this sort of stuff before. But for me, if I was working on reckless exploration, I like to play with holding the hoop in my elbow, some kind of move like that. And then I put that on wheels, just something super simple. I put it on wheels, and then I just try to see what I can do with it. hoop every day or every other day, you can work on things like elbow catches. All right. Okay. So we're going to move on a little bit further. I hope you guys are still with me. It looks like all the streams are still going, but it's always hard to tell. But thank you guys. I'll, let's take that off there. Thank you guys for everybody that's been contributing. That really is helping. And we are going to have a jam on Saturday. So, right. Okay. Sweet. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of a free hoopy song. And you can move any way that you want to. I'll be demoing a little bit. But what I'm going to do is call out awareness points to you. And all you'll do is move. Your awareness will move to that part. Okay? We're going to slowly pick up the... not good. Okay, so what I want you to do is you can find any movement, any way you want to hoop at all to this song, and you're going to keep moving that way no matter what. You're going to keep moving that way no matter what, and I'm going to shift. I'm going to tell you to, I'll say something like left hand, left hand, left hand, left hand. And then all I want you to do is do an honest accounting. And when I call out that and the awareness moves there, I want you to just note whether it changes it at all, okay? So just to refresh a little bit, right hand. I just shifted the hoop. I didn't have to do that. And my awareness is on my right hand. And the one thing that's kind of cool to do is obviously my awareness and the burden are usually close together, but what if I take my awareness away from the burden, away from the weight, so my awareness is now in my left hand. So anyway, I want you to go back to moving any way that you want. You can keep it simple, something like what I'm doing right now. It won't matter. You're going to try to get the beat going in. And I want you to think about both hands. Both hands. Awareness splits. You're thinking about both hands. Again, whatever the movement is, doesn't matter. Your awareness is split in both hands. Okay. Left shoulder. Left shoulder. It's actually really hard to not notice a change in your movement when your awareness moves to it. Left hand. With my awareness there, I'm taking notes of that experience. Right forearm. My right forearm. My hoop is on my left hand right now, but my awareness is on my right forearm. Good. Left forearm. Left forearm. When I bring my awareness to my off hand, the hand that's not doing anything, so to speak, it wakes it up. One of the reasons you might feel stuck on that plateau is that there are parts of the body that still need to open. They still need to unlock. Right foot. My awareness is in my right foot. Left foot. Left foot. Good. Good. I suppose the theme for tonight is how do we close that gap as comfortably as we can between where our awareness is soared off to, and how our body can keep up, be capable enough to reach some of that height. Moving my awareness to my night side, to the space behind me, really opened my hooping up and changed those plateaus for me. For instance, I'm on my night side right now. I feel my back right now. That's where my awareness is, and as soon as I place my awareness there, my shoulders start pivoting differently. One good place to put your awareness can be the tips of your ears, the tips of both ears. To put awareness there as you move, it tends to pull you back, pull you upright, kind of like a mean grandma. But to put your awareness here in your movement as you move. Okay. We're going to squeeze in more of a free hoopy type song now, so that you can pretty much hoop any way that you want to. Again, I'll be hooping to kind of keep the energy going, but I don't expect you to do what I'm doing. So any way you want to hoop, however you want to do it, if you want to take a break, that's fine. But I want to give you a chance to feel some of this opening that could be happening if you can let your awareness just float freely. Right? My studio audience likes this track. I want you to hoop any way you want to, and I'm just going to talk quietly a little bit. I think it can be really helpful to have goals for your flow, but make them goals that are really hard to determine success, but you'll know it when you see it. So instead of getting to a certain noted place, you'll set a goal for yourself. Like one year I had a goal to move my feet more. That was the goal, right? And those flow goals, that are broad like that, can kind of keep you off of the plateau, keep you from staring at your awareness, circle your awareness back into your practice. I had a goal once to be more upright. A lot of hoopers hunch over the hoop. One goal could be upright, right? So rather than the wedgie challenge, which is awesome, you could just work on being upright in the hoop, that could become a goal. So be fluid in the goals. You can be hooping any way you want to. I'm just waist hooping right now, for me. Kind of goals that have a sort of slow absorption, that have a slow but steady climb up the mountain. Those can be inspiring and not intimidating enough to burn you out. This is our free hoop. You can hoop any way you want to. One of my goals was to be upright in my shoulders. I'm still working on this goal. But it was to be upright, right? It was to externally rotate the shoulders out a little bit more instead of hunched in. Okay. This next exercise is a core exercise that we're going to do together. And I'm doing this for a reason. Because it might be a little bit harder than your average beginner core thing. But it can give you some goals, right? And maybe you're plateaued on the set of tricks you have, and you need a new goal. It's not going to be that hard, but we're going to start off on the waist. And we're going to do guided core right now. I want you to imagine that you're a beautiful lake of water and that you are swirling the water around you. You're big and mighty enough that you can feel the water go all the way to the shore and even kind of come back a little bit. And you play with that. And you push forward, back and forth. And you swirl the water around. And you push forward. There's a breeze on top of the water. Your hands are like birds, and they are flowing with that breeze. Right? Good. If you can, reverse. I'm moving in water. I'm wrapping it around me. Pushing back and forth. Good. Reverse. Back in first current. Now we're going to work on leading with the night side. We're going to put our awareness on our night. This is the space behind us. We're going to put our awareness there. It doesn't really matter how we move. Our awareness is just on our night side, like across the kidneys or whatever, but it's on the night side. Right? Good. Now we're going to move the awareness to the sides of the body, to the two sides of the body, right? To your two sixes. It might take a minute to get there. You'll kind of walk the rhythm from one emphasis to another. Right? Good. This is a way of bouncing the water back and forth to the shore. Boom, boom, boom. Good. Reverse. Free the feet up. Free the hands up. And now instead of my awareness being on keeping the hoop up or moving my feet, I'm going to shift my awareness to my hands. I'm going to even put my focus there. Again, you can move them any way you want to. Good. Reverse. Now when I come up to the shoulders, it's like I'm dropping my hands into the water. And I'm going to be paddling underneath there to keep myself afloat. So when I come up, my awareness might want to move to my hands. Yeah. And then the awareness might bounce all over the place. Like what I really enjoy about the unfettered mind, which is a wonderful bug, was allowing your awareness to bounce, allowing it to float. I'm on the shoulders right now, but my awareness has been moving between my feet and my knees. I'm going to shut up so maybe you can feel what I'm talking about. have the hoop on my shoulders, but it really doesn't matter because this awareness and this freeing of the awareness moves through the whole body. And after teaching thousands of people, awareness almost always has had the single biggest impact on their movement, how they felt about it and how it looked. I love the idea of learning moves. But it's good to cultivate your movement that only you can cultivate. To cultivate it from you, the source, not only from YouTube, but from you, the source, not just from Instagram, but from you. And moving your awareness and learning that power tills that soil. Right? Everybody for joining me. Let's do a little bit to go, but I'm always grateful. I'm underneath. I'm in the water here. Shoulder hooping is a great example of your awareness being free. Bring your awareness to the path of contact when it's up here and away from the shoulders. Good. We can come back down to the waist here. Try to put a little bit of, you can be in your first current, whatever. Put a little bit of bounce on this and see if we can get it into earth. Any kind of earth angle. So I'm here, earth. I'll bounce just a little bit, lift up my heels, Good. Now awareness on the angles. The reason I'm demoing this is that awareness at the angles really helps you find it. To become aware of both sides of the body and how these two sides are pushing to create balance. Good. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Nice. Okay. Okay. All right. I hope everybody is still with me. Let's see what time we got here. Oh yeah, okay, cool. We're running right on time here. All right, I want to do one more exercise that's kind of outside the box, or not really outside the box, but outside of my box. And that is that one of the things that can really help, especially if you flow to music, is to play songs that you've never heard before. And this can be a great plateau breaker, is to put on stuff that you've never heard before. And like if you can go, like if you need it, you can go to my old classes for playlist or put something on Spotify, or if a friend has one for you. The newer sometimes the better. And so this next song, I'm going to do this with you. I'm going to listen to a song that I've only heard it one time, and the moment I heard it, I was like, that is so not the kind of song I listen to. But I did like it. And so we're going to listen to this together, and I want you to just to, more, you'll just be experiencing this with me. But finding a song that you don't normally listen to, and then looking for things that make you familiar. The fact that this song has a guitar is already new to me. You can hoop along with me any way you want. What I'm trying to do is find the music, put my awareness there, kind of like we did last class. So that's familiar to me. sometimes our music really can rut. It can inspire us, but sometimes it can put us in a rut. Song you like, but maybe you wouldn't normally listen to. Flow to it. Awareness floating through the body, nice and free. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. Floating awareness. Free floating awareness. Sweet. Thank you guys for being a part of this. We're going to move into free hoop from now, and I think that it might help some of what I said sort of come together, is to think of it like awareness. I mean, it's so much more than this, but like in some ways, if focus is a spotlight, if focus is a flashlight, awareness is daylight. Awareness is the light that enters the room, that just sort of becomes the room. That's awareness. And focus is really good. I'm kind of an ADD guy, and hooping taught me if I focused, I could kind of, get on less of a roller coaster sometimes. Okay, we're going to move into the free hoop now. Thank you guys for joining me. And yeah, I will, you can hoop any way you want to these tracks. I'll be hooping just for demo's sake, and I'm going to stay off the mic a little bit so that you can get your flow on. If you have to bail, thanks everybody for joining me. I appreciate it. There will be a jam on Saturday, 3 o'clock, if you want to join me.
You
everybody for joining me. This is the free hoop. You can move any way you want to. If you like the soundtrack of tonight's class, it'll go live on SoundCloud as soon as class is over. I almost always put a link to it. Thank you, everybody. I think we got time for maybe one or two more. It's always weird to free hoop in front of you guys. Yeah, we'll do this one and maybe one more chill one. Thank you, guys. If you have to bounce, I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to throw the donate link up. I appreciate it. We're good. Liking, sharing, commenting on live streams helps me out. Thank you. Free hoop any way you want to move. Thank you, everybody. Let me make sure this is the last one tonight. Thank you very much, guys. Hey, y'all. Thank you guys for checking out the class. Sweet, sweet. Guys, I love the comments. Thank you very much. I can't really read them how the class is going, but thank you. Oh, sweet. Sweet, guys. Thank you so much. This is the last one. We'll fade to green after this song. Okay, thank you everybody. Really appreciate it. I'll put the link up to the SoundCloud in just a second. Thank you everybody. Have a great night.